First and foremost, I want to give a shout out to the Lord and Savior, Jesus the Christ. He's the Lord of my life. Shout out to YouTube for another opportunity to share. Oh, I want to point it out to y'all, this is Burger Week, so go out and get your burgers. I know Burger King has a deal. You know, today is on this Woo Whopper Wednesday. You know, rest in peace to the young man, Bashar Jackson, a.k.a. Pop Smoke. Condolences to him and his condolences to his family as always and his friends. As always, we toss it up for him every Wednesday on a Woo Whopper Wednesday. Shout out to Burger King, McDonald's, all the fast food joints that's giving out the burgers and everything. White Castles, all of them. Jack in the Box for all my West Coast people in LA. I don't know if Jack in the Box is doing it, but anyway, I just want to do a quick video real quick as far as weathering the storms. You know, marriage. You know, like I said, my channel is not a gossip channel, but I am aware of what certain issues are going on, certain marriages. You know, I heard about the young Jeezy and his wife, Papoose, and the situation with Remy. I don't know the specifics. I probably don't need to know or want to know, but I'm praying for them. You know, let no man separate what the Father create. You know, not everybody's a believer in Jesus. You know, not everybody take their vows under Him. In that aspect, I'm aware of that, but I get hardened by any form of divorce. But sometimes certain people don't need to get married. And I'm not speaking about them because I don't know them, neither one of them, them personally or other people that's going through it. What you have to do is sit down with the person who you're going to marry, go through some counseling. You need to find out who you're marrying first, right? Sometimes people are deceived. Everybody get married for different reasons. Some people really get married out of love. Some people are really in it for the long haul. They don't care if you're broke. Some women they're with you if you're broke. You don't got nothing. I've seen a woman, and shout out to her. Her husband had 3 strokes. He probably can't even be intimate with his wife, and she's still marching with him, pushing him, everything. Every time I see her, salute. Not every woman is like that. You know, shout out to her. You know, some men too, you know. Can you weather the storm though? It's easy to go through the glitz and glamour, like, yo, I love you. You give the good, nice ring. You have the big ceremony. You know, everybody show up. Everybody's there, toasting and everything. But once again, one of the vows is for richer, for poor, for better or for worse, to death do you part. Can you do it? And to death do you part. You know, one of the things, I go to cemeteries a lot to pray and everything. And I see a lot of married people that's actually from back then, they're buried together. Only thing that separates them is death, but even in death, they're buried together. You know, can you weather the storms? You're going to have the storms as far as cheating. You're going to have the storms as far as money. You have the storms of communication. You have the storms of gossip, other relationships. You have the storms of life. The storms are inevitable. They're going to come. Can your relationship weather the storm? Can it stand the test of time? If you cannot, if you haven't counted the cost of that, don't get married. I'm encouraging you, don't get married. If you're not willing to, if you can't stand it, if a person cheats on you, whether physically, mentally, emotionally, lie to you on all these things, if you cannot tolerate, if you can't forgive in that aspect, don't get married. It's not for you. Because in marriage, you know, yes, it's supposed to be for better, for worse, but we're praying for better, but worse do happen. You're praying it don't be for worse, but worse does happen. And if you can't weather the storm, don't get married. I encourage people, you know, you need to get to know the person that you're marrying before you marry them. But sometimes people are so deceptive, you think you can know a person until you get married to them. So, you know, in the Christian faith, our faith, we don't get sex, but we're not supposed to have sex before we get married. We can't live together before we get married. And that's hard in itself. So it takes a lot of faith to be with that person. Naturally, I would tell people you need to have sex with that person before you get married. You need to live with them before you get married. But because of my religious obligations, I can't encourage that anymore. Naturally, I would encourage that. Spiritually, I don't encourage that because I ain't going to encourage anybody to sin against the Father. If He said, no, this is not what it is, you can't do that, then you can't do it. But the only thing I have a question with that is that, I don't know. I think you can. I got to do more research, but I think you can do it with a person that you are gonna get married. I done seen people. I done seen Christians get married, and excuse me, flies flying. I done seen Christians get married, and soon after the wedding is over, the honeymoon, that they never touched each other, they got divorced because they didn't please each other. You can't marry just because of sex, my Christian brothers and sisters. You can't get married because you're burning with lust. I know Apostle Paul encourages that. I understand his heart behind that, but don't get married for that reason. Because if it ain't what's cracked up to be, what you gonna do then? You know? Don't get married out of desperation. Don't get married because you want somebody. If you're not, marriage is about the other person, not about you. And the other person supposed to make it about you. That's how I make it about us as one. You know? If you can't be selfless in a relationship, you can't do it in a marriage. Evangelist Scott Davis used to tell the men, if you're gonna masturbate as a single man, you're gonna masturbate as a married man. And I'm like, how does that work? Why would a masturbate? Yo, bro, he wasn't lying when he said that. He was not lying. He wasn't lying. You know, the reason why is because, once again, if you have the same issues, the point is, if you have the same issues you had as a single person, you're probably going to have it as a married person. So deal with the issues you need to deal with as a single person so you don't bring that junk into your marriage. But once again, can you weather the storms? If you can't weather the storms, when they come, don't get married. But if you can't weather the storms, you have a high tolerance level, you have a high compassion, forgiveness level, you'll be fine with your marriage. You're going to go through some pain. You know, you're going to go through ups and downs, a roller coaster ride. But can you weather the storm? That's the question. With that being said, more content coming soon. Or this Woo Whopper Wednesday. Peace and blessing, y'all. Enjoy the rest of the week. Peace.